The following is a Michigan Sesquicentennial Year presentation.
To a lot of us, target shooting, when we're just shooting at paper targets and counting the holes, isn't as much fun as it could be. You know, there are ways you can add some spice to recreational shooting with your hunting guns, like shooting at milk jugs full of water. Now, that's fun. And shooting at objects like that can teach you about your gun and what it can do. Now, we're going to monkey around with some shooting tricks in just a moment, so stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. It's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, its history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties, we'll look around again at all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of the beauty in this state of Michigan.
The ability to shoot targets in the air has always amazed me. It's a fairly simple concept and looks easy enough. The arrow just ticked the edge. You can see it and you can hear it. How somebody can even come close with a longbow amazes me. Norm Blaker doesn't have any trouble hitting a tennis ball with an arrow. These flu-flu arrows with large feathers don't fly very far, so this is safe. I thought that was really amazing, shooting until I saw Norm hit coins from the air. 50-cent piece. He and Ron LeClaire can do this consistently. But the most amazing thing I've seen them do is hit aspirins from the air. I'm talking about the little white pills, not even as big as your fingernail. You can see it against the sky as I'm moving it there up and down in slow motion. Now watch for it to come down. It doesn't. Ron LeClaire hit it and deserves a big round of applause. Now watch this trick with a shotgun. Dave Strickland from Grosse Ile can not only hit 3 clay pigeons, which he tosses into the air himself, but he can hit 4. The 4th one didn't hit the ground. He powdered it just in time. You know, I've always wanted to be a crack shot like that. That seemed to be more fun than shooting at paper targets, and there are ways that you can use your hunting guns to have more fun when you're shooting, but you have to be creative. You also have to be safe. Wear ear protection every time you shoot, because shooting will cause hearing loss if you don't protect yourself. And wear eye protection, too.
The Coke can there on the right.
This can is empty. Looks like I missed again, but actually I hit it all 3 times. A .22 bullet usually goes right through aluminum cans, which means they don't jump and dance if you hit them squarely. See, there are 3 holes in, 3 holes out. I hit it, but it wasn't that much fun. The way to have fun with cans is to hit them on the bottom where they sit against the ground.
Whoa! Yeah. Here's the one full of water.
Now that was a miss.
Oh, there, I got it.
Part of the enjoyment is seeing how much you can do to the cans. There, the Trost can there was one with water in it. It exploded from hydrostatic shock. The other can was one that I nailed on the edge as it was lying down. That's what makes them jump into the air. Now, shooting containers full of water can be a lot of fun. Save your plastic gallon milk jugs. If you're in a bind, you can find them for 25 cents a piece from a dairy store. Fill them full. If you have lids, it would be even better. But it's kind of fun to try different bullets on milk jugs. I'll use a .22 hollow point and a 20 gauge number 8 shot and one with a slug. Here's the hollow point. No big deal. Not a lot of wallop with the .22. Now the shotgun with the open choke. Even less impressive, but you can see the pattern it throws. And now the 20 gauge slug. Ooh, that's impressive. Gives you a good idea of how potent a shotgun slug really is. Now, what about a .44 Magnum? It throws a heavy bullet, and a hollow point like this would probably do a number. Tim Farragon from Langsburg shows how the .44 kicks. This is a hunting handgun. Long barrel builds a little more pressure and velocity and sends a shock back through your arms. It's really not uncomfortable to shoot, but it is a powerful gun. Now let's take a look at the jug with the .44. That .44 packs a punch, but let's compare the small diameter, high velocity 22-250. A lot of speed there with the big boy, the 7mm Magnum. Tim loads this into a bolt-action hunting rifle. Now this fast bullet is accurate at long ranges, the 22-250. Well, that splattered the milk jug in pretty good shape. But now let's try the 7 Mag, a heavy bullet with a big powder charge behind it. Whoa, that's neat. Now let's get a side view in slow motion. Right here. The jug blew apart, and there's a rain shower in all directions. And I like that. There's got to be more we can do with water. Let's see. How about some water balloons? Water balloons are cheap. They're colorful, they explode, they make great aerial targets. It's almost like a fireworks display if you hit one square. If you can get a hold of an old grapefruit someplace, try that as a target. That wasn't a square hit. That was. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown it straight up over my head, though. It makes it easy to hit. Now I'm going to try Tim Farragon's .410 barrel on the Thompson Contender frame. I'll toss a clay pigeon into the air myself. The trick is to toss it straight up and shoot fast. All this shooting has been at close range, and once I got the hang of it, you know, it wasn't as tough as I thought. These simple shooting tricks are things you can try on a shooting range. The fun targets aren't expensive. Just make sure you clean up when you're done. Take a plastic garbage bag along for that. Make sure you wear ear and eye protection. Make sure you follow the rules of gun safety, and you'll find you'll learn something from recreational shooting. Just one more way to enjoy guns safely in Michigan outdoors. So watch it in the outdoors. Turkey hunting, well, it's been a good season, which brings us to our trophy book. No, these turkeys don't qualify for the trophy book. Don Hines from Lake George got his 13-pounder last Friday. He's on the right. I got mine 10 minutes earlier, a 15-pounder. Both called in by Bob Garner, who has a longer beard than either of them. It takes an 8-inch turkey beard to get a Stroh's Award. Art Lennon from Remus got his, 9.5 inches, taken in Mecosta County. Ellis Diltz from Muskegon took his trophy bird from Lake County. It had an 8.5-inch beard, weighed 18 pounds, 12 ounces. In the fish division, the Tittabawassee produces nice crappies at this time of year. Steve Kazook from St. Charles caught a 2.5-pound, 16.5-incher on a minnow. White bass are also coming in. Fred Ferguson also caught this in the Tittabawassee, casting a Mr. Twister. At 2 pounds, 3 ounces, it stretches 16 inches. Here's a nice-looking brown trout. It's an inland brown. You can see that brown coloration. It came from an inland stream, Sugar River in Gladwin County, 22 inches long, caught by Ryan Boland from Hemlock. Now this brown trout is silvery because it's from the Great Lakes. Pier fishing up in Benzie County, Toby Noland from Whitmore Lake caught it on an alewife. 32 inches long, this brown weighed nearly 20 pounds. But look at this, a Great Lakes muskie that's nearly 30 pounds. Ron D'Antoni from Algonac got a 28-pound, 11-ouncer. St. Clair River?
My canal.
Your canal in the St. Clair River. Fishing offshore.
No, I was trolling in my boat. I just came back from Anchor Bay for pike, and decided to put out one of the musky rods.
Well, hold up your trophy here. What's that trophy from?
Michigan Ontario Muskie Club.
Ah, was this during a tournament or just...
It was 4 days after the first tournament.
Okay, well, you got yourself a 49-incher, 28 pounds, 11 ounces at the taxidermist?
Yeah, it's the fourth largest for the year.
Fourth largest for the year? Congratulations by the Michigan Ontario Muskie Club. A whale of a fish, plenty big enough to make Ron D'Antoni our Michigan Outdoors Trophy Angler of the Week. You know, Bob, we get questions all the time about where should I go hunting? I mean, specifically, or where should I go fishing?
Oh, right. In fact, this one comes from Roger Parker of Merrill. He says, where do you hunt when you're in the Houghton Lake area?
Oh, Roger, you want me to pinpoint my spot? About all I can say is I hunt along the edges, along the swamps.
You're not going to tell them, are you?
No, and I don't reveal on the guide report, which we just did, I don't tell the hot spots of the small areas. See, the thing is, Bob, you know as well as I do, when we look for a place to hunt or fish, I mean, we scout it out. You look around in the areas to find sign, and you want to find a place where other people aren't. So I don't want people to know my exact areas, and I'm not going to tell other people's exact areas. I'll pinpoint it, in the trophy book, down to the county or, to the body of water.
And there's a lot of public land and public water out there. Just you have to go find your own spots.
Try to give you the guidelines as to how to find a place, but boy, we sure don't want to reveal ours, and I won't reveal yours either. Now, let's see if you folks can answer this question in our outdoor quiz.
Who was the fastest pistol shooter of all times? Ed McGivern is the legendary pistol shooter who fired 5 shots from a .38-44 double-action revolver in 9/20ths of a second, all shots hitting a target the size of a $50. This 1932 record stands today.
Now's the time to fish the St. Clair River at night for walleye. Fishing expert Larry Lixie from Port Huron showed me his techniques. This rod is about like an ice fishing rod, Larry. That's about a 3-footer. Huh?
Yeah, it's good and stiff. It gives a little bit. I kind of changed away from that one because that one gave too much.
Oh yeah, this is too limber.
Too limber.
Yeah. Okay, we got a sinker here that's about what ounce? 2 ounces?
About 2.5 ounces.
And what a rig here of swivels.
You got a dropper. You got a 3-way leading to a front lead.
Okay, now let's see this. On the front lead, let's see, you have about
6 foot.
6 foot of line?
Yep.
Okay, now here's your classic pencil plug. Right there. Oh, and you're tied right at the end. Fish has to come in from the side and grab this.
Yep, they grab it top, bottom.
Okay, and then we run right behind it another 6 feet?
Yep.
And where do the fish usually hit? The last one?
Both.
Both of them, huh? Okay,
Yep.
we'll toss it over.
No, we ain't gonna toss them over. We're gonna put this in the water like that.
I see. Put that one in first.
Then put it in there like that.
Run that one behind it.
Like that. And
Now.
that should work pretty good.
How much line do I let out?
You will feel it hit bottom.
And that's what I'm waiting for.
Yep. There,
There.
you should have hit bottom.
Yeah.
All right, now you work it, just bounce it on the bottom. Go back, let out a little bit of line, and keep bouncing it back.
Oh, so we're dropping back.
Yep, you're going to keep dropping back. Lift it up. You don't have to lift so far.
Don't have to lift like
No,
where?
especially in the spring. You don't hardly have to move that rod. You only want to move it so you can keep moving your bait back down the river. You'd like to get out about 100 to 125 feet of line.
Now, how
so
do I
you're
know
working,
when?
You just got to guess.
Oh, I
That's
see.
something you learn with experience.
So you have it on free spool all the time?
Right. If you catch a fish, you hold it with your thumb and hit the lock and crank the fish in.
Now is the time to use these techniques on the St. Clair River. The current is swift, so drifting and trolling isn't practical. And while there are walleye caught during the day, the night is when the big ones are taken. Larry Lixie told me the fishing is great right now. Recently, a 13-pound 9-ouncer was caught. Well, this shouldn't be too tough. We've got to hand line him aboard. Tim's got one too? Average size for the St. Clair River is 2 to 3 pounds, and limits are common. Well, we got a little one. Boy, I tell you, that's a good eating size. A good eating size. Rob Helzer swings a bigger one aboard in the boat next to us.
Let's get him in without a net. There he is. It looks like he's hooked pretty good.
Now, this kind of fishing is not difficult once you get in the boat. Larry and Rob took a handicapper in a wheelchair fishing like this last year. Their larger charter boat has an open deck, and this smaller boat, Larry can take the seat out to make room for a wheelchair. And he says handicappers are more than welcome.
About 4.5, 5 pounds.
Oh. Oh, that is a nice one. Larry Lexie is a good example of the Outdoors Forever spirit. He broke his back on the job several years ago. His doctor says with his injuries, he doesn't see how he gets out fishing. Larry says he takes a lot of pain pills, and he's not very comfortable. But he said he'd go nuts if he was cooped up and couldn't get out fishing. He's done it all his life. To look at him, you wouldn't know there was any problem, but you can tell by his attitude that he's fighting it, and he deserves to enjoy the outdoors forever. Every now and then we come up with a recipe that uses venison in a way that non-venison lovers might like venison Creole spaghetti. Jack Morrow from Frankenmuth has got one that kids or squeamish women or anybody.
Oh, you can take
squeamish,
it any, that's right.
Squeamish men?
Yeah, you can take it any place, people that don't like venison.
Or think they don't.
Yes, yep. There's a lot of ingredients in this that kind of cover it up. You start with bacon. You're going to fry this until it's crisp, and then you want to break it up in small pieces.
You know, I found that cooking venison in bacon grease is really good.
It just changes the flavor just a little bit, and it really enhances it.
Now, there's some venison that came from a processor.
Yeah, you see all the good stuff in it.
Well, there must be, you know, a lot of stuff ground up in there.
Absolutely.
Maybe some enhancing beef fat or pork fat.
Okay, now you want to fry your green onions and green pepper right with this.
White onions in the venison.
Right in the bacon grease. Everything goes right in the grease here. And just gonna fry it. You want that pretty brown, and then you are gonna break this up in quite small pieces.
Crumble the bacon and mix it in.
Yep, and it all goes in one pan.
Now you can actually taste it. You know, when you come across these little bits of bacon.
There's just a small smoky flavor there, and you don't really taste the bacon, just a smoked flavor. Now you can put this into an electric frying pan because you do want it to simmer for an hour. You're gonna add 3 cans of tomato sauce.
And this is not like an Italian recipe.
Oh, no, it's not the heavy spices that you find in Italian, like your oregano and basil. You are going to add a whole bottle of chili sauce. And that's, so, yeah.
Well, now
that's
it's not like, chili sauce is not hot. A lot of people think it's hot. It's just a sort of a variation on ketchup.
Yep, a little bit of Liam Perrins, about a teaspoon here. And
that I can taste.
You can taste that?
I can taste that in here.
Okay, and you got mushrooms and a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, you could use fresh mushrooms here, but you'd want to saute those first. And garlic salt, and just a little bit here.
Well, a little bit.
About a 1/4 teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon, I think it is.
And you can't really taste it. I can't taste it in this. And chili powder. Now this will give it a little bit of hotness that you don't find in chili sauce. But it's not overbearing hot.
No oregano.
No oregano, no basil.
None of the Italian type spices.
No.
Not a lot of tomatoes.
Just very mild.
It looks more like a barbecue.
Be great on a sloppy Joe bun.
Doesn't taste like a barbecue.
It has just a little bit of a smoky taste to it. I'm not sure exactly where that comes from. This stuff is really good. You can see my plate's virtually as clean as a hound's tooth. It's a new bent on spaghetti that I like because it doesn't seem to have a lot of spices in it. But it's good food.
The question is the venison lost? Have we wasted a package of venison on this?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, you might have wasted some venison taste, but what you've gained with the ingredients in this recipe, hey, this is a winner.
A good way to use it, venison Creole spaghetti, a great one from Jack Morrow. Folks, it should be a good weekend. It's probably going to be a dry weekend, so get outdoors if you can. It's a great place to be. See you next week. All this shooting has been at close range, and once I got the hang of it, you know, it wasn't as tough as I thought. These simple shooting tricks are things you can try on a shooting range. The fun targets aren't expensive. Just make sure you clean up when you're done. Take a plastic garbage bag along for that. Make sure you wear ear and eye protection. Make sure you follow the rules of gun safety, and you'll find you'll learn something from recreational shooting. Just one more way to enjoy guns safely in Michigan outdoors.